Hello, I am Test Drive, and welcome to episode 43. Forza Motorsport 2. We are in the Sparco Evo 8, which was a car I used on Forza 1. I just actually confirmed that by looking at it. It's a Sparco branded Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8. I think this might actually be American because it is left-hand drive. I just noticed that it's left-hand drive. So it's probably something that went to SEMA at some point. And yeah. Sparco does all kinds of stuff, I think. I think they have suspension and everything, if I remember right. I don't know. But we're going to be doing the Rallycross face-off, which is Impreza versus Lancer, yada, yada, yada. Must be Evo or Impreza. We're going to win in Mine's Evo 6, which is also the best car that we're racing against, along with the Tommy Kara M20B and yada, yada, yada. Evo 9, Evo 8. Blah, 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 blah. And we are going to be going to Sunset Peninsula, Infield, Suzuka Circuit, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, which is no longer Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. It is now WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Fun fact. And the Tsukuba Circuit. So let's get started. My throat is starting to hurt. God, why? It's like I haven't streamed in who knows how many days. I think if I continue to stream and actually use my voice for hours on end, I will actually not have a sore throat. Half an hour into fucking... I'm not even half an hour into streaming. I'm 52 minutes into streaming. So this car is fast, by the way. I have no doubts I'm going to win this with ease. Car good, yes. I was saying something, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, my throat. Yeah, I don't know. If I stream a lot, I might be able to get over it, but who knows. I think that's how I did it before, but we'll just have to see after some streaming. And who knows what it's going to be like, because as I mentioned in the previous episode, my goal this year is to stream for like 3 to 4 hours per week. Which doesn't leave a lot of like time to actually have something get better, I guess. Oh yeah, this car's actually really fast. I don't remember exactly how much horsepower it has. I think it's close to 500. But of course it's all-wheel drive. It's got a big wing, so it handles good. That's one car I've never driven in real life is an Evo. Never driven an Evo anything. Even a Galant VR4, never driven. But I have driven a Mitsubishi, oh god. I don't think I've ever actually driven anything with a 4G63 in it, now I think about it. Never driven an Eclipse of any kind. Never driven any of the DSM cars. Like the Talon, Eclipse, Laser, that was the other one. And the, or wait, no, that was it. Never mind. I did drive something with a, I can't remember what the, oh, I think it's a 4G72. No, that's a 6G72 I'm thinking of. Whatever the 2.6 liter Hemi engine is, I have driven a car with that, because I did drive a Conquest TSI on a road trip, actually. Because we bought, when I was, another car dealership story I've probably told before. We, you know, when I was at the car dealership, they went up to an auction way up north, like at the Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri border, like corner there, that, you know, they bought a bunch of cars from, Boss bought a bunch of cars from, and the way it worked out, because we had trucks there to bring some cars back, they bought basically one too many cars to be able to fit on the truck. Although we had to go back there, we had to go back up there with one truck later on a second day, because, you know, there were still a few cars left that they couldn't, because we only had 3 trucks at the time. So, you know, there'd be 3 or 4 cars per truck, because there'd be a truck with a trailer on it. And so basically the whole idea was they bought a Chrysler a 1989 last year Chrysler Conquest TSI that was apparently like supposed to be like a really good car, you know, had a bunch of receipts for it, a bunch of aftermarket parts and stuff, and they're like, hey, instead of taking 2 trucks, why not just take 1 truck up there to, you know, save the gas, because you would only use the gas of the car driving back and just drive the car back. So I was like, hell yeah, I will drive a Chrysler Conquest TSI. You know, it was like 120 miles or something. It wasn't even that big of a road trip. It took us like 2 hours at most to drive back, even driving fairly slow on the highway. And, oh god. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't comfortable. I will admit that the factory seats in those cars are not very comfortable. They don't have very much actual foam in them, I guess. They're very thin. So driving that car for a couple of hours was not the most comfortable road trip I've ever been on. But the car did fine. I drove it really easy for pretty much the entire road trip, except for like when we were almost back. I don't want to die, please. I almost just fucking killed myself. Whenever we got back, I was like, hey, we're like 5 miles away from the shop. So I'm like, I'll test it out, because, it's a turbocharged car. It's the 2.6 liter turbocharged engine, 5-speed manual. I was like, I want to see how fast this, or not really see how fast it can go, but give it a little bit of acceleration, let the turbo kick in a little bit. And it had a boost leak of some sort, or like some sort of weird issue where it would, like, I think it was overboosting, maybe? Because it would like shut itself down if you got too much in the boost. And it had a very, very loud rattling noise whenever you get in the boost too. So I don't know what that was to this day. But yeah, that was a fun car. Never actually made a video on it for my channel, which is kind of disappointing. I'm saving that for when I buy one, Kappa. Which isn't a complete Kappa, because I'm sure I will buy one at some point in my life, but I have to find one that's not stupid expensive and not in awful condition. And those are two things that it's hard to find. But I'm going to try. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. They're also not known to be the most reliable cars, those 2.6s especially. They like to go through, I think they like to go through head gaskets. Maybe cracked blocks, or I don't know. Something like that. They have a pretty fatal flaw with them. Although all of the four cylinders put in the Chryslers in the 80s, all of them are not great for reliability, even though I own one right now. But I've heard the one I own is actually supposed to be pretty reliable. Other than the fact, of course, that the timing belt is about to fucking commit Sudoku, and it doesn't run right because it has bad spark plug wires. But hopefully in the next few months I'm going to be fixing that up. Hopefully. Because all I have to do is just get the engine positioned in a way that is currently not positioned in. And I can replace the timing belt and the spark plug wires, and also the probably distributor cap and all kinds of other little tune-up things that I don't want to do again anytime soon. But that'll be a fun car whenever I'm done with it, whenever I get it running right. Because at this point I haven't even ran it hardly at all for the past year. Mostly because of the timing belt, but also now because it has a slight fuel leak at the fuel filter. The last time I filled it up. Yeah, you're right about that. There's pretty much every car has something that will go wrong with it, no matter what it is. That's why I'm always leery about, there's people that are like, oh, my 1997 whatever has 160,000 miles, so it's low miles for the year because it's less than the average. But it's like, no, once your car hits like 100,000 miles, no matter what it is, it's going to start having problems. My LS400 had problems at 100,000 miles probably, and that's known to be one of the most reliable cars in existence. Sure, it's not like anything super destructive. It's not going to strain you on the side of the road. But, the gas gauges went out on it, and power antenna stopped working, the fuel gauge stopped working. There's going to be something wrong with it. Something's going to go wrong. Something will need to be replaced. Plus, suspension parts aren't really known to go well over 100. Well, they'll go like 150,000 before they start needing to be replaced, usually. Sometimes earlier, depending on the car. But yeah. So anyways, there's the second race done. Oh, 22,000 credits. Heck yeah. Ooh, Proto Motors. I have a 30% discount on weight reduction upgrades by Bride. I will take it. So yeah, that's why I'm always like, whenever I see people say something about their car with over 100,000 miles, no matter what it is, no matter what year it is, saying that it has, you know, low miles, it's like, no, it does not have low miles. I will never consider anything with over 100,000 miles having low miles. The only thing I can is diesel trucks, but those will still have problems. They'll have transmission problems or suspension problems, specifically on the trucks I like, of course, which are the Dodge Rams, the second-gen Dodge Rams with the Cummins diesel, because those things go through front-end parts like crazy. Because, fun fact, Cummins diesels are heavy, and they like to destroy front suspension and also steering components. So, yeah. Although, I mean, like on those, obviously you're going to have a fairly low mile one at 100,000 miles, because most of those trucks have 250, 350, 450,000 miles. But they're going to have their problems no matter what. Especially if they're automatic, and especially if they haven't been maintained well. And that's another thing. It depends on how well the car has been maintained. Like, I can't say my Lexus was very well maintained before I got it, considering there's no sorts of, like, anything on the Carfax saying anything about going to a shop or whatever. So that's why I had the timing belt replaced whenever I first got it at 151,000 miles. And mind you, the timing belts in those cars are supposed to be changed every 90,000 miles. So that car went 60,000 miles over the timing belt change and water pump change. And also the body isn't in perfect condition. The paint's not in perfect condition. There's dents and dings and crap. The interior's far from spectacular condition. But I think that's the thing about that car is that, you know, it's known to be reliable. And it will continue to be, even with, you know, as long as you change the oil and you basically just don't beat on it too hard, and it will stay reliable fine. It's just whenever you start doing those things, like forgetting oil changes and, you know, beating on it, hanging off the rev limiter and whatever, then you're going to have problems. And honestly, those problems are probably going to be oil leaks, because those cars like to leak oil once they get over like 200,000, 250,000 miles, which I'm not looking forward to for whenever mine hits 200,000. Because it doesn't have any oil leaks yet. It's actually really clean under the engine. The only thing that's not clean is the fact that it leaks power steering fluid. So I might just bite the bullet and replace all of the power steering lines in the power steering pump, because I don't know where it's coming from, honestly. And that power steering pump has been so low on fluid so many times, I'm sure it's not in great health. Because I get lazy and I don't fill it up, and then it goes, it just whines like crazy. But like I said, that's still not going to be something that's going to strand you on the side of the road, though, luckily. Even if your power steering pump completely goes out, unless you can't steer at all, which would be a spectacular way to have a power steering pump fail, it'll still go down the road. It'll just have manual steering, basically. Oh, God. Yeah. People think like, oh, this is a brand new car. I can drive it. I'm going to drive it 10,000 miles and then be like, oh, I probably should have changed the oil. If even that. People are just negligent, honestly. All these people, like, I don't know. The ones that don't really care to know anything about cars, they only have a car because they need it for transportation. Especially like newer drivers. They're just not going to have a good time because they're not going to properly maintain the car. And that's the story about a lot of cars too. Like, as long as most cars will stay reliable as long as you keep up with the maintenance. Like, there's some cars that if you go over 3,000 miles on an oil change at all, it will damage the engine. Like, I think even engines like these, the Ford G63 are like that. But the thing is that you do that, and you do other preventative maintenance and make sure all your seals are good and everything like that, and the engine will be fine. You just check everything out. Some cars you have to pay more attention to maintenance-wise, but in the end that will stop you from having to do, you know, an entire engine replacement or an entire transmission replacement or whatever. There are some cars that are just destined to fail, like the Maserati Biturbo is one that comes to mind. And there's things that just fall apart with age too. No matter how nice or how well you keep up with it, it'll just, you know, if it becomes 20, 30 years old, that car's just going to be rotting, even if it looks super nice. Welcome to episode 43 of Forza Motorsport 2, where we talk about car maintenance. It's great times here on the stream. Yep, that's exactly it. And that's the thing that people don't realize, is not every car is just going to be oil changes to maintain it. You might have to replace the coolant. You have to flush the coolant every now and then, or you know, do a valve cover gasket or whatever. It's all still maintenance. It's just different levels of maintenance. Like a Lamborghini Countach's maintenance is going to be a lot different from a Toyota Corolla's maintenance. And you have to understand that whenever you get a car and all. Like, you have to realize that, hey, you know, this car has special needs, and you have to take care of those special needs. And usually, the manufacturers even recommend it. Like, hey, whenever you do maintenance, do this, that, and the other thing at this many miles, and then you'll be good. But no, people fucking... they don't change their differential fluid in their Evo, and then their fucking rear end explodes or something. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I feel like it probably is with something that's all-wheel drive. But yeah, people don't think about like differential fluid or transmission fluid. They just like, all right, if it's full, it's good. But no, you have to change that stuff every now and then. Especially, I'm sure that on, well, that's the thing. So I love Chryslers, of course, as most people know. Like 90s, 80s to 2000s Chryslers. Like anything before pre-FCA, but also post, like Iacocca. And they have a couple of weak spots, which are the transmissions, automatic transmissions, the 2.7 liter V6s, and actually that's really about it, because electronics will just go out no matter what, which they tend to do. But the thing is that transmissions, as long as you keep the transmission fluid changed and change the filter for it, as long as you do that before, you know, maybe every 20, 30,000 miles even, it'll last. It'll be fine. Like, there's plenty of automatic 80s Chryslers out there with 200,000 miles in the original transmission. And with the 2.7, as long as you keep changing the oil at a decent time and don't let it sludge up, it'll be fine. It won't, you know, they've seen tons of those with 200,000 miles on them. But then you also see the ones with 50,000 miles that people blow up because they don't change the oil often enough. Or they don't put the right kind of oil in it or whatever. Oh, solo Jake. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the rant of people not keeping good care of their cars. W50, Jesus Christ. That just sounds like it would destroy the engine instantly if you ran the engine with that in it. I don't even know what the recommended oil for 2.7s are. I need to figure that out quickly though, because I'm probably going to have one very soon. It's going to be great. SAE, I don't... Here's the thing, I don't know much about oil names and the numbers and stuff that go into oil names. I just know that it's 20 weight, which I know is heavy oil, and it's like thick. That's like all I know about oil names. I don't even know if that's right, honestly. Something like that. Gear lube. But yeah, it's gonna be fun bringing a car. It's been sitting for. The last time it was licensed was 2011, I think. And it was only driven like 1,000 miles during that time. And the last time it was actually driven regularly was 2006. And the car is a 2004. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting bringing it back to life. It still runs. It gets ran actually like every week. And moved around and stuff. And so that's a good thing because it hasn't let the oil just not circulate. So that's nice. Unlike my Maserati, which that car is a miracle that it runs as well as it does. It doesn't make any kind of like bad metallic noises. It's surprisingly good for having sat in a barn for 20 years and me being dumb and trying to start it without doing literally anything to it. I consider myself very lucky. And also the cooling system works, it stays cool. The brakes work, which is surprising on those. Yeah. And I think that's a sign that, hey, I should actually keep this car around and keep it going. Yeah, lucky is definitely a good word for that. I will admit that. Rhino, thank you very much for the host. And also welcome to talking about car maintenance and also possibly playing Forza in the background. What else have I done to that car? I've done like nothing else to it. I wouldn't say caring too much is a bad thing about like car maintenance. I don't think you could ever care too much about it. Unless you're a person who doesn't drive your car because you don't want it to get hurt. Like, that's the only kind of things that I'm like, I don't like to deal with. As long as people will actually legitimately drive their cars, at least some, then it's alright. Big news. What is your big news? Also, welcome to the stream, Drama. Looking for a Lexus? Ooh. I have a Lexus. And no, you can't buy mine. Not yet, at least. I want to at least make it to 200,000 with it. I'm at 173. Okay, good. I was actually looking for SC300s and 400s whenever I was looking for my car, but then I realized that SC300s and 400s are way too expensive for me. They're like 5 to 6 grand cars, and my car was a 2300 car. LS swap? What? The 1UZ is like the perfect engine though. It's as good as an LS, if not better. It will hold all the boost that you can throw at it until it starts leaking oil. I want to see a scientific test of a 1UZ versus an LS1 or whatever LS for like stock everything holding boost. You sure do have a car that does things, Rhino. You have a cool car though. I have pleb car. Survive 886. That's kind of cool. SR5. AMG V8 bi-turbo. Like 1,000 horsepower. I'm sure hasn't there been 1UZs make that? I don't know. I don't really know much about boosting things. I just know that the 1UZ is a fantastic engine and can take a lot of boost. That's all I know. It's probably also all the 1UZs that people are putting like a lot of boost through are probably like 250,000 mile 1UZs that have not been touched on the inside. I'm just gonna assume that at least. I don't feel like anybody bought a 20,000 mile SC300 or SC400 and just was like, hey, I'm gonna yoink this engine out of here and just put a shitload of boost through it. Or just put a lot of boost through it in general. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. What you really want is the SC400 with the VVTi 1UZ, the one that makes like 280 horsepower, I think, 260, something like that. That's a great engine. Never actually driven one myself though. I've only driven my 1UZ that has no VVTi, but it's still 240 horsepower, not too bad. A turbo in your car was one from an L6 Cummins. I mean, Roadkill put a Power Stroke turbo on their fucking 240Z with a 4.3 carbureted engine in it. So yeah, whatever even happened to that car? I just binged the shit out of like 40 episodes of Roadkill that I missed, and I did not see anything about the Rotson, and I'm kind of disappointed now that I thought about it. Did they put a 5.0 in it? I don't know. I feel like they put a 5.0 in it. Wasn't it actually the 5.0 turbo out of that one Mustang that they had like a long ass time ago? I don't know. I need to go back and like watch the old episodes of Roadkill to see that. Ooh. Level 2, 30% discount on Anyways, final race. That's Tsukuba. Alrighty, let's go. Have I taken a picture of this car yet? I don't think I have. I surely will during this race at some point. Have to get that thumbnail. Also, I just noticed that this car has red brake light surrounds. And I remember I was talking about that a while ago in an episode where I was driving the Evo 9, I think, in this game. And it had chrome brake light surrounds. And I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe the red is American and the chrome is Japanese market? I don't know. I just know that there's different ones, and I'm going to take a picture. Ooh, another picture from the back. I like it. Good job, me, for thinking about that. Big Wang Gang. That's what I say about that. Fire T3. Let's go. I'm glad we're doing the full course because I would have not been prepared for the short course right there. Oh, laggy. I forgot I did that. No, because there's a couple of other Evo, like the Evo 9 GT, which was the car I used earlier on in this game, and also I think even the Evo 8MR in this game has chrome surrounds on the brake lights. Well, not like surrounds, but like everything that's not lit up is chrome. Everything that does not light up is chrome. So I don't know. But I know the Evo 10 doesn't. I think it has normal brake lights. It has like ones like these, where they're all red. Something like that. I'm just curious of what the actual difference is. Because again, I've seen both, so who knows? I like the carbon fiber trunk though. That's one of my favorite parts of this car. Just because it looks silly. It's just a black trunk. Although it's got a black hood too, so it's got a carbon fiber hood with stickers on it. Pioneer. I think my truck has a Pioneer radio in it. My Ram? I almost said Ranger. I put a JVC radio on my Ranger. But I think the one in my Ram is a Pioneer. It's like a super old Pioneer though. Like it has an aux input, but it's only for the 6 CD changer and it's on the back of the radio in the dash. So therefore, it kind of sucks and is very useless. But that's why I have a Bluetooth thingy that helps me just basically do things on a radio station. I don't know why exactly that is. I don't know if they were just like... I don't know. Because I know what you're talking about. I think that's like Forza 1 was like that. Where if you put a carbon fiber hood on the car, you couldn't put decals on it. Because I think it was like a really different texture though in Forza 1. I don't know. Need for Speed? Huh. You got me. Is that that's a really long windshield wiper on the back. I don't think that's the correct size of windshield wiper for the back window of this car. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty sure it doesn't go all the way over to the other side of the window. Just Need for Speed things and also Forza 1 things. I'm pretty sure it was like that in Forza 1. Like I said, you'd have to make sure, because I might be stupid. They're probably like, no, you can't ruin the look of the carbon fiber. You're not allowed. You either have decals on paint or you have carbon fiber. Those are your two options. God, SRS. I need to play that game still at some point. I've heard it's a very questionable game, but I still want to play it. Handing bottle sucks. I'm not surprised. I've only seen very small bits of that game, and I'm just like, this is interesting. All I remember about Automodelista was that it was really touchy with the steering. That's the only thing I remember from playing it. Because I actually own it on disc for PS2. But I only played it like once, and I only played it for like 5 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. Especially, yeah, that's like the nail in the coffin is having bad handling and also bad damage system. Oof, gotta pay for repairs. Need for Speed Pro Street did that right. Sure, the handling was a little bit questionable in Pro Street, but whatever. I still love Pro Street. I will play it again at some point. And Need for Speed Shift too. Not Shift 2, but Shift as well. Shift 1. I will end up playing through Shift 2 at some point, but today is not that day. Neither is tomorrow or the day after that. Pedestrian AI ramps you. Rip. Jeez. Honest question here. Who would want to see me play the Monster Garage video game for Xbox at some point? Because I still own it on Xbox. And it works on Xbox 360 too. It's a very interesting game because it's not just like your average racing game at all. Like you literally have to build the cars. and it's actually kind of entertaining. Yes, there is a Monster Garage game. I actually have videos of it on my old channel. At least one video. I think I have it copyrighted though, sadly. But it's just like the audio's removed. Evo 6. Hello, comrade. Hello, 4G63 comrade. And there's also one for PC, a Monster Garage game for PC, but it was a lot different from the Xbox version. And I kind of want to play it too, but I don't have it, so I can't really play it. That Evo 6 is really slow, by the way. I'm also really fast, by the way. But that's what happens when you put really vague fucking restrictions. Yeah, it's bone stock, but there's also a car that's not very much lower level than me racing around this race. It's an AI car that they scripted to put in this race. It ain't my fault, it's Forza's fault. But then again, they did fix that pretty well for Forza 3, luckily. And then Forza 4, of course, they had the upgrade system for the AI, so you were always racing against cars that were built to the top of whatever class it needed to be in. Which you could also turn off, and you could also do it to where, in difficulty, you could set it to where you could use any class of car in every race. So that was fun. Speaking of Forza 4, Emil is starting to play Forza 4, and Godspeed to that boy. That's going to be a long Let's Play, because he just finished Forza 3, too. You know, he's 22,000 credits. We have made it to level 3. We have a 20% discount on intercooler upgrades by HKS. Nice. And that right there is just about going to conclude this episode. But first, we got the Mines Lancer Evolution 6. Very nice, and 26,000 credits for completing that race series. And there's our new Evo 6 that has been tuned by Mines, which is also tuned Skylines that I'm pretty sure I own at least one of. So, Weeb, no you. I don't even own a Japanese car. Yes, I do. Anyways, so yeah, we're 52,000 credits away from blah, 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 blah. Here is my stats. I've driven over 1,000 miles now, which is pretty cool. 12 hours, yada, yada, yada. So thank you all so much for watching this episode, and I will see you in the next one.